Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And again, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know I've been talking about the housing slowdown. It is real. Inventory is building, days on market, price drops, all of that. But here's the deal, folks. Sellers will eventually lose the power. Right now, they seemingly have all the keys to the kingdom, but over time, they are going to lose it. And some sellers are going to miss the boat and be arrogant and not realize that it's December and not April. In April, they could do no wrong. It is now December. The slowdown has begun, and some sellers haven't figured it out yet. So let's welcome Matt, the mortgage guy, who has an example or two to talk about.
Right. Yeah, it's good to be here, Mike. As always, great talking to you on Wednesdays. And this is something that I get fired up about, because ultimately my whole business is structured around serving consumers.
Right.
And when I see things happen in the real estate market, I mean, I walk around my office and I get a little animated, right? I get a little passionate where I'm like, these guys.
I can't believe they did that. Yeah.
Right. Over this past weekend, I had two examples. And the good news is, in both examples, they had a strong buyer's agent who had their back, who helped them make a decision that was best for them. Awesome. And had nothing to do with this buy agent getting a commission. Because, like you prefaced, there's a bunch of sellers that could do no wrong. There's so much leverage, there's so much demand that sellers can just name their price, name the terms, and just say, we need an appraisal back this fast, loan contingency done by this date, close it in 22 days. I want top dollar. And what I want to happen, I mean, I'll be honest about it. I want some of these folks to be like stuck holding a bag, where they had a great offer on the table, they got greedy, and they said, I'm going to counter offer higher, faster, better. You've got to come with better. And then when the buyer says, no, thanks, we'll go somewhere else. And that seller all of a sudden is like, oh, shoot, all they hear is crickets, right? It might not happen right now. And it certainly hasn't happened over this year. But when it does happen, I hope that the good listing agents are talking some sense into sellers, saying, hey, listen, this is a great offer. And I'll give you the two examples from this weekend. We had a buyer put in an offer. The house has been on the market for 25 days. So that means usually it's slightly overpriced, or whatever the case may be, right? Like, yeah, there's not people clawing at the front door. I think it had been on the market for 25 or 27 days. Client writes a strong offer, maybe not strong enough. But when the seller counters this offer, the seller counters with a higher price than the list.
They go over list. That's arrogant.
And more term. It's like, if you were going to get above list, you're getting that in the first 7 to 10 days. Most agents know that. And so, like, I would advise my client, like, hey, listen, we started here. They offered us this. Maybe let's counter here. Not like in the first few days, if you've got 6 offers, you can put out a crazy counter. This wasn't the case. This was a month on the market.
So let's just try to put some what if numbers, right? So let's just say it was listed at 500 for more of the country, because California is weird. Listed at 500, doesn't move. Somebody writes an offer at 460. The counter comes back at 520.
Right.
What is that seller thinking?
And I was ecstatic when I was going to respond, because I think the listing agent, I was on the offer, I was on the response, and I think the listing agent had me on the response and had some questions like, can you remove the appraisal in 12 days, remove the loan in 14 days? As I'm writing the response, the agent on the buy side calls me and says, don't respond. Offended my client, offended me a little bit. We're looking elsewhere. Good news, they got accepted on something else.
That's awesome.
And then literally, like, I think that was Sunday. Then Monday, I've got another agent who it was almost the same thing. They put in a strong offer. This listing agent, well, I shouldn't say listing agent, the seller, and the listing agent's writing it. That's how it should be, right? Is they're just taking the seller's demands and putting it on paper. Responds with like some of the craziest terms I've ever seen, because it wasn't just the appraisal gap and how quick we could remove contingencies, but what they could and couldn't ask for. It was a lot. And buyers who don't know any better, really, like, they're not in real estate every day, it's like, is this normal? And the agent was like, it's not. And the buyer's like, I don't think I want to work with this person. Agent said, either do I.
Nice.
See you later. Write new offer. Both of those deals are in contract on different houses.
Yeah, folks. Again, I've been through cycles where sellers are, again, you got to remember they could do no wrong for a year if they just could. And also you got to remember that sellers, generally speaking, this is the biggest thing they own. And they've been hearing the stories, over asking. And unfortunately, they're not in the market. And if they're not getting good coaching from their listing agents, they're going to do dumb things like bring an offer at or counter above asking. That is so silly.
Right. Couldn't get asking, so that when you offer, I'm going to counter even higher. I honestly, I don't know what that seller or what that agent was thinking, but
they still have an active listing. That's what they're thinking.
Right. I'm proud of the buy agent on both of those deals.
And this is what happens at the top of the market. When a real estate slowdown, there's always those sellers and those listing agents who don't realize the market changed. That's how days on market go up. That's how price drops. That's how this is all of this stuff I've been telling you is coming is starting to happen. It's fun when you can call it.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those things where, there's lots of real estate agents operating. There's lots of mortgage folks operating. Some agents are doing a deal one every 3 months. Some agents are doing 20 deals per month. When you're doing 20, 30 deals per month, you get to see the trend as it's happening. Somebody whose last closing was August 14th.
Yeah.
Has no idea what's going on right now.
They think it's still April because that's when that contract went.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They closed 3 deals so far this year, and now they're looking at their 4th deal, and they have no idea that the winds have changed a little bit.
Yeah, and they're going to increasingly change. This is how slowdowns happen. It's also how flippers got burned last time, right? When the market changed, some flippers held on because their thing was special, and then their prices just kept going down. So again, folks, the market is slowing down. And as an investor, I am excited because I get to nibble at the edges and try to find the motivated seller. So I know a lot of people are going to be buying. Some people are still refining. How can they reach out to you, Matt?
Reach out to me and the team, greatmortgagebroker.com. We set that up just for you so that we could, figure out where you're at, what you're looking to do, and have somebody contact you as soon as possible. Working on getting even better with our service level agreements. Before, I told people, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. We've got some manpower. We got some help. I think most people are being responded to within 2 hours. So that's the 2022 business plan goal. Service level agreement is respond within 2 hours. Wow. Try to help as many people as possible and have fun doing it.
Yeah, folks, if you're a follower of One Rental at a Time, you're thinking about buying, you want to get pre-approved, all 50 states, reach out to Matt, the mortgage guy at greatmortgagebroker.com. Thanks, bud.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.